up tonight on the news at 6. Lawmakers discuss a bill that would limit the governor's power during extended emergencies and disasters. Plus,
and we thought it had been fixed, but it did not.
Have you gotten your second stimulus check? We'll walk you through the issues the IRS is having and what you can do to get your money if you qualify.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 6.
Good evening. Welcome to the News at 6. I'm Marian Davidson. Thanks for joining us. Our top story tonight at 6, Montana lawmakers are considering a bill to limit the governor's powers during an extended emergency. Supporters see it as a response to orders put in place during the COVID-19 pandemic. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian reports.
The House State Administration Committee heard testimony Tuesday on House Bill 122. Sponsor David Beatty, a Republican from Hamilton, says he wants to restore the balance between the governor and the legislature.
House Bill 122 leaves intact the governor's power to take immediate action when time is of essence. At the same time, it enables the legislature to fulfill its constitutional role even in times of crises.
HB 122 would limit a governor's initial declaration of emergency to 30 days and a disaster declaration to 60 days, unless the legislature agreed to extend it. It would make it easier for legislative leaders to call a special session and allow lawmakers to terminate a disaster declaration and put limits on the governor's emergency orders. Montana has been in a state of emergency since former Governor Steve Bullock's declaration last March. On Tuesday, supporters of the bill said the governor's directives during that time went too far.
I'd like this bill because it gives us, the people, an opportunity to speak with our legislators, and so that they can get a feel for how the emergency in place or going on is affecting us, the people.
Beatty said the governor needs flexibility to act early, but the legislature should have a role when the situation lasts much longer.
The authors of Title 10 of the Montana Code rightly provided the governor extraordinary power to deal with time-sensitive immediate crises. But they surely did not foresee the governor retaining such extraordinary powers and the legislative branch being sidelined over an extended period, such has been the case for the pandemic we are currently undergoing.
No opponents spoke during the hearing. The committee took no immediate action on the bill. Now, MTN contacted the office of the current governor, Greg Gianforte, for comment on this bill. His press secretary said that we are very early in the lengthy legislative process, and the governor will carefully review any bill that the legislature sends to his desk. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Beatty also introduced another bill to give county and city leaders more authority over orders from local boards of health and health officers. That bill is set for a hearing on Thursday. And new tonight at 6, Lewis and Clark County officially contracted with the state legislature for COVID-19 contact tracing. County commissioners unanimously approved the deal that will see the state pay the county up to $7,000 for a dedicated contact tracer. The new contact tracer will be assigned to track any cases from state lawmakers or legislative staff. Now, the nature of the legislature provides unique challenges, and the contact tracer will need to be able to work with DPHHS and other public health agencies across the state.
Legislators come and go from the community as the session progresses. They don't all just stay here throughout the course of the session, which means that there'll be impacts both here in Lewis and Clark County as well as their home counties.
So far, there have been 2 confirmed COVID-19 cases associated with the Montana legislature since the session began. One, a lawmaker from Hamilton who is attending in person but wearing a mask, and the second is a lawmaker who attended the session remotely from Columbus. And once again in front of the state legislature today, a bill about whether or not to make wearing a seatbelt in Montana a primary offense. So in other words, law enforcement could pull you over solely because you are not wearing your seatbelt and write you a ticket. Under the bill, the fine for not wearing a seatbelt would be $20 and it would not go on your driving record. The bill's sponsor, Representative Frank Smith of Poplar, said he spent 9 years on ambulance service on the Fort Peck Reservation and saw many people killed in traffic accidents because they were not wearing a seatbelt. But the American Civil Liberties Union of Montana opposed the bill today, saying that poor people and minorities are the ones most likely to get stopped and fined. Another opponent, Mark French of Trout Creek, told the House Judiciary Committee it is not the government's job to keep people safe. He said wearing a seatbelt should be a personal choice and that being forced to wear one could actually be harmful.
I wear a seatbelt a lot of the time because I choose to, not because I'm forced to, but because I choose to. But I do not wear a seatbelt when I'm driving along a river. If I drive into the river with my wife, we're both belted up, and we go down into the river, and I can't get her out. She's knocked out, or I'm knocked out, and one of us dies. Are you going to be responsible for that?
Similar bills have consistently been rejected at prior legislatures in Montana, and the committee may vote on the bill later this week. All right, now it's time for a first look at that forecast with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grabanitz. Good evening, Curtis.
Well, good evening, Mary. Good evening, everybody. To help maybe improve your weather viewing experience, I got not a yellow cast, but a green cast to work with the chroma key here, the green screen behind here. Bill, can you make the green screen come up here just to show the green cast? Maybe, there we go. Green screen behind, thank you, sir, and a green cast. So I did this just for you folks out there. Well, hope you're having a good day. Tomorrow, maybe not a good day because of, look how much wind will be out there. Most of the state is under a high wind warning. Now, it's pretty windy in some parts of Montana today, not so much in the Helena Valley because of inversions, but that will change. Everybody will be looking at just a nasty wind as we go really through tonight and through tomorrow. The middle of the day is when the wind will be worse. Where you see that purple color, talking wind speeds maybe 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. And the wind will continue into Thursday, although it will not be as bad on Thursday. With the wind, dangerous driving, tough driving already. Severe crosswinds up around Browning and East Glacier, but falling trees, power lines could be an issue. Falling temperatures and falling snow. I'll let you know when we could have some flakes coming up.
Now taking a look at Montana's COVID-19 situation, 387 new COVID-19 cases were reported today, bringing the number of active cases to just under 5,000. Now 4 more deaths were reported since last night, and that brings the statewide death total to 1,067. Active hospitalizations dropped from yesterday and are now under 200. MTN uses a combination of state and local data to provide you with the most up-to-date numbers regarding COVID-19 in our state. And because of that, our numbers may differ from the state report. Well, we told you yesterday one of Montana's longest running sled dog races was canceled due to COVID-19. Tonight, we have more information about the decision behind not holding the 2021 Race to the Sky. Race Secretary Pam Beckstrom said, at first, the race coordinators were optimistic the race could happen with some COVID-19 adjustments. Now, Race to the Sky runs about 300 miles from Lincoln to Sealy Lake, and it is an Iditarod qualifier. Now, Beckstrom said eventually organizers realized the race would just not be able to happen.
When we realized that we couldn't have the mushers could not go into any of the buildings, it just became a safety issue for them. And it just felt like it was an uphill battle that we were probably going to have to just pass on for this year.
Beckstrom said this is the second time the race has been canceled. The first was in the early 2000s due to a lack of snow. And still ahead on the news at 6, how to make sure you get the second round of stimulus checks if you qualify.
You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the news at 6. The IRS is having unexpected problems getting stimulus checks out to millions of people despite months to prepare for this second round. Alicia Nieves walks us through what the issues are and how you can make sure you get the money if you qualify.
When $1,200 stimulus checks went out last April, experts say it was not surprising to see issues with getting money to people, as the IRS had to rush to set up a system and get checks out fast. But this time around, with the system in place for months,
I thought it would be smoother because they had a lot of experience.
Bob Probasco, a CPA and head of a tax clinic at Texas A&M University of Law, is surprised to see an estimated 13 million checks delayed because of issues the IRS is having this round.
There was one big problem that surprised me because it was a problem before And we thought it had been fixed, but it had not.
That problem is with the IRS sending money to the wrong accounts, mostly for taxpayers who had returns done by companies like H&R Block or TurboTax, since these companies usually set up temporary bank accounts to get their clients a refund faster. And stimulus checks are again going to those temporary accounts, getting sent back to the IRS, and then getting mailed as a check.
I thought that they had that fixed. Turned out they didn't.
A new issue this round is with stimulus checks getting mailed versus direct deposited. That's because this round is based on 2019 returns only versus 2018 or 2019 returns in the first round. So if you are a person who didn't get a refund last year, you no longer have bank information on file for 2019. It's expected the IRS is going to have all checks mailed by this Friday.
But if they have not mailed you a check by that date, you're going to have to get it by requesting it on your tax return for 2020.
The IRS says it will not process $600 stimulus check payments after the 15th, forcing anyone beyond that date to file for the economic impact payment. It is also not commented on what it would do if a $2,000 stimulus check is approved, something President-elect Biden hinted he was eager to see.
And they're going to have to be ready to hit the ground running.
During last week's appointment for his administration's economic team.
The problem of a third stimulus check is something that they need to give careful thought to.
Experts like Probasco recommend the next round not be rushed with a short 2-week deadline seen this time, and that the IRS or Congress issues guidance as soon as possible. I'm Alicia Nieves reporting.
All right, for another look at that weather, here's Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
Well, we have some powerful winds that will blow across the state tomorrow. Some pretty strong winds out there right now. Great Divide ahead of these winds, suspending operation for Wednesday. You'll have to wait until Thursday to make some pretty good turns. I'll have more on Wednesday's forecast and all the wind coming up.
Now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I don't often show this graphic, but the power outage index here is possible where you see yellow, possible all across the state, and where you see that orange, an increased likelihood of maybe a few power outages, but certainly the wind strong enough to knock down some trees and maybe affecting the power lines and the power out there. Northwest Energy might be a little busy during the day tomorrow. It's windy in Great Falls already. Some gusts today up to about 40 miles per hour, but nothing like what we will see tomorrow. Warm day with highs into the 50s. Helena, 42 right now. Calm conditions. And Marion was just asking, when is the wind going to come down into the Helena Valley? Well, it's gusty up in the higher elevations around town. We're just inverted right now. And I think if you live in the valley, the wind will likely increase here through the overnight, but certainly by tomorrow morning. And everybody in the state will be feeling those winds tomorrow throughout the day. But temperatures, 50 degrees in Havre, Montana at 6 o'clock here in now almost the middle of January. It's almost unheard of. Look at Cut Bank winds, sustained winds, meaning they're gusting higher than that. Continuous winds at 43 miles per hour. We've had some gusts up in that area, over 70 miles per hour already. Precipitation, it's kind of come in a few waves, mainly up in the higher terrain. You can see a little mix of some rain and snow depending on elevation west of the divide. Maybe a few snowflakes up there around Mount Baldy into the Little Belt Mountains. And we had some snow up on the Rocky Mountain fronts earlier. There you can see the earlier images of the radar. A lot of heavy rain into Washington and Oregon. A lot of the ski areas in Washington and Oregon were closed today because of inches of rain, not snow. And this storm is producing some rain and some high elevation snow, but it's really the wind. High wind warning, high wind watch here. So it's not just Montana. A lot of the northern Rockies and the plains will be getting hit by some very powerful winds. For tonight, another round of precipitation coming in, but again, it's along and west of the Continental Divide. Some snow way on up there, going up snow levels, that is, up to about 6, 7, maybe even close to 8,000 feet in some areas. This is a pretty warm system. Tomorrow morning, the wind really starts cranking here, and it will begin in the Helena area. We may have a couple of rain showers early. Going over to snow. Not only will we have the wind, but falling temperatures, and by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, this time, it's not going to be very pleasant to be outside. Just really nasty winds through the afternoon, and note the precipitation more in the form of snow through Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening, but don't expect much, if any, accumulation into the lower elevations. Clouds clear out as we go through Wednesday night into Thursday. Thursday's a mostly sunny day. It's nice to be inside looking out through a window because, once again, we'll have some pretty nasty wind, especially across eastern Montana. It's a windy day on Thursday, but Wednesday is the worst as far as the wind goes. Snow, yeah, a few inches way on up there, and the snow levels will be dropping tomorrow, but again, most of the precipitation is moving out, or at least the moisture moving out by the time those snow levels really begin to fall. Here's the forecast for tonight. Likely seeing some record warm low temperatures here tonight into tomorrow morning. Couple of sprinkles, but again, it's really all about the wind that will be ramping up through tonight. And for tomorrow, with the front going through, expect high temperatures in the 40s and 50s early, but falling through the late morning into the afternoon. So we'll be in the 30s, the 20s by about this time tomorrow evening, with really just nasty, nasty wind out there for everybody. For Thursday, still some wind, although it's mostly sunny. Wind on the order of 20 to 40 miles per hour as opposed to 30 to 80 miles per hour, what you could expect for tomorrow. For Friday, a little low pressure producing a couple of snow showers out there, a little breezy, not going to call it windy. And then into Saturday, a couple of snow showers in the mountains, early highs in the 30s to around 40 degrees. Here's the 7-day forecast for Helena. So just get ready for a couple of raindrops and a few flakes tomorrow, but it's really all about the wind. Thursday's a windy day, a little snow shower activity Friday, then again Sunday. Pretty nice for Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday. And for Great Falls, some mixed rain and snow showers tomorrow. Very windy, and overall, towards the end of the month, I'm expecting colder temperatures with a shot of Arctic air around January 23rd.
All right, thanks for that, Curtis. Coming up, this winter has not really felt like, well, winter so far, but that has not slowed down speed skating in Butte.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the News at 6. Thanks so much for spending some time with us this evening. Well, although it has not felt much like winter so far this season, the Butte High Altitude Skating Center is up and running. MTN's Luke Shelton went out, laced up, and hit the ice to get the scoop.
30 years ago, this rink was a go-to destination for athletes chasing after Olympic glory. Well, today this facility is open to the public 7 days a week free of charge. Welcome to the Butte High Altitude Speed Skating Center.
I think it's really good for Butte to have a rink in that, because not many people get exposed to skating in that, and this gives people a place to come out and learn how to skate.
Built in 1987, this quarter-mile track saw world-class speed skaters descend on Butte to train for the 1988 Winter Olympics, including Dave Silk, who is now the coach of the Butte speed skating team.
Just trying to pass on the knowledge that I got from my coaches on how to skate, so hopefully they'll do the same when they get older. That's kind of the goal, is keep it fun, and so they keep skating and pass this sport along.
While the Olympic glory days may be in the past, the rink is still open to skaters, fast or slow, looking for something fun to do in the winter.
Just to have fun in that, like it's fun to go to competitions and that, but it's nice just to be able to skate and have your own little place to just have fun.
I think just kind of days like this, you know, Butte is awesome winter weather where you get these sunny days, it's comfortable, and it's just enjoyable being out here, and that's you can't beat days like this. You can't beat skating outside on a day like today.
Reporting in Butte, this is Luke Shelton, MTN Sports.
All right, no way I would attempt that on camera, I would fall. And we'll wrap things up here on the News at 6 when we come back.
Leader, you're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the News at 6, and that pretty much does it for your headlines tonight, but we'll be back here tonight at 10 with your latest local headlines, plus another look at the weather and that strong wind blowing into our state. We'll be back here at 10. Thanks so much again for watching tonight.